welcome to the Foresight Research Podcast series. I am your host, Arunkumar R, currently pursuing my master's in Defense and Strategic Studies at Rashtriya Raksha University, Gandhinagar, and a research fellow at Foresight Research, Mumbai. Today, we navigate one of the most consequential conversations of our time, the rapidly evolving landscape of global defense sector, modern warfare, and India's strategic positioning in an increasingly multipolar world. To guide us through this complex terrain, I am truly honored to welcome our distinguished guest, retired Lieutenant General Sanjay Verma, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, Bar 2 VSM. Beyond the operational domain, General Verma possesses a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of national strategy. His insights sit at the critical intersection of military experience, strategic foresight, and policy reforms. At a moment when the nature of warfare itself is being rewritten from the drone swarms over contested skies to the invisible battlegrounds of cyber and gray zone conflict, there is a perhaps no better voice is to help us to understand where India stands, where it must go, and how the global balance of power is being redrawn in a real time. Sir, it is a profound honor to have you with us. Welcome to our Foresight podcast.
My pleasure.
So let us begin with a big picture. We are now firmly into 2026-2027 period of year. So the global defense landscape looks almost unrecognizable compared to even a decade ago. From your 4 decades of active service, spanning the Kargil War, the first and second decades of the 21st century, how dramatically has character of the warfare transformed? And in your view, what is the single most disruptive shift that militaries worldwide are still struggling to observe fully?
Thank you, Arun, and thank you for the introduction. Honor to be here with you, and more because you are one of my very bright students. And the question which you have raised is very relevant. I mean, you were asking, I mean, in the sense we are in 26, 27, and how the landscape has changed, the landscape, what was there perhaps a decade back. And then you start asking me how it was when my 4 decades of service. The change has been actually not dramatic, it has been revolutionary. I mean, even every decade, there is a new evolution coming up. And this evolution is coming up for various reasons: changing global dynamics, emerging technologies, changing threat spectrum, changing relationships between the emerging countries. So, I mean, if you say why war is taking place or why is being there a conflict, I would say there are different logic of conflicts coming up. And what has actually changed as far as the way warfare is being conducted? At one point of time, whether it is the evolution from medieval times to World War One, World War Two, and then we've seen even the Gulf War and many other wars, it has always been based on platforms, maritime platforms, aerial platforms, land platforms. And one has been looking at mass, at overpowering the enemy by flooding with platforms, overpowering with ammunition. But over a period of last decade, when the new technologies have started coming in, it has becoming, which was evolving, has now come into shape is the network centric and system centric warfare, where information, surveillance, software integrating all info from the sensors, integrating them into the shooters. We'll come to that later. But what has really changed, which we are seeing now, the for the past 5 years, we've been seeing the Russia-Ukraine conflict. What is happening? Now we have different lessons to learn. In the Russia-Ukraine, I don't say that platforms are not into play. Platforms are very much into play. Platforms are very much into play. And we have seen how the application of the platform, whether it is the tank, I mean, very in an early stage, people started saying that it is the demise of a armored warfare tank, etc. But again, there have been changes. But importantly, what has changed is that the battlefield is becoming more and more transparent. I mean, you come to know what the enemy is doing, enemy comes to know what you are doing. And it is just a question of, it is very difficult to hide what I am doing. Surveillance, satellite communication, all these things make survival very difficult. The other thing is that the tempo of conflict is becoming very, very fast because of the nature of this network centric. There is also another new evolution which is coming up, is that a lot of technologies which are there in the civilian are now coming in the warfare front. And that is probably why the network centric warfare is becoming very, very predominant. Now, having said that, the main issue which has come up is now that there is a asymmetric warfare evolving. We all understand what is asymmetric warfare. So, the single most disruptive shift, if I have to say, is that today the detection, identification, and decision and striking of the enemy, which, if I say, is the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. So, when I was sitting, I was observing the enemy, I was sitting in a tank, orienting, then getting the information, then deciding which target, and then I was acting. So, that was, look at, somebody was feeding me information. I'm sitting in a tank or I'm sitting in somewhere, information is coming from one source, two source, three sources. I get the targets, I analyze whom to engage, with what to engage, how to engage. Today, this OODA loop has been compressed. I'm getting, because of lot many sensors, I'm getting information in real time because of AI analysis is being taken up. And I'm also getting an information what weapon system should I engage to hit that target. So this OODA loop has become very, very compressed. This is the most important result. Here, what happens is that the decision time for a commander shrinks from, you have to feed it level to level, one commander to another to another. Today, this information is available, it is a flat sort of an organization. When I am passing information to my highest commander, it is available at all levels. So what is the result? The decision making becomes very, very fast. Geography is not important, it is the connectivity. And whosoever integrates faster will be the winner. So now what is happening is the command structures are lagging behind, and we have to catch up with both the technology and utilization of that technology. And another important thing is, what are the evolving doctrines? How do you I use this? So this is the most important changes which I have summed up. And the deeper implication, if I say, that it is going to happen in the sense that we are seeing artificial intelligence, drones, etc. So it has been a journey from where the mass production was taking place in World War One, Two, etc. And then we came to when we were into, Gulf Wars, etc. What were we looking at? We were looking at precision guided loitering munitions. We were hitting missiles. This era is of AI compressing the OODA loop and evolving even when we are fighting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's correct. It's like network centric and digitally very influenced warfare tactics things. So we go to the next question that is related to this digital and technology only. So the recent conflict which has been started in the February month of February, Iran, Israel, and United States has given the world a striking new window into the modern high intensity warfare, which you now explained that, and precision strikes, electronic warfare, and hypersonic trajectories, and the role of the proxy networks. So, what are the most critical and operational and strategic lessons from the confrontation that India must internalize, particularly given our own two front security environment along the northern and western borders?
See, for if you are taking the example of Iran, Israel, United States, uh, and even Russia, Ukraine, uh, yes, when there is a warfare, when there is a conflict, you learn lessons, you draw how weapons are being deployed, how doctrines are changing. But for India, it is, our, like I was talking to somebody, I was talking yesterday to someone. I was saying that a lot of evolution has taken place, a lot of things are changing, but there is some things which for India has have not changed. And what is most important in that? The most important in that is that our borders, like I was mentioning, mostly being unsettled borders, they are hotspots of conflicts arising at any point of time. Now, if you have to contain these, uh, and in our context, loss of land, loss of territory is taken very seriously. So this means that for India, whatever is happening, we draw out lessons, but conventional capability buildup is not going anywhere because of the difference of geography, whether with Western adversary or Northern adversary. On his side, you have lot of developed area, lot of plains, but in our side, the mountainous terrain, the difficult and hostile high altitude environment makes it very important that we occupy it. If you have to put boots on ground, you should have conventional capability. However, as the last conflict which we had and the way we responded, Op Sindoor, there is a need that besides the conventional, we should be ready with rapid response metrics, escalatory metrics. Whenever we have to respond, they should be punitive and decisive delivery means available to us. So from that, the first thing which comes to important is that we have to have in today's environment integrated air and missile defense. We have seen that, number one, and this has to be layered so that we get real time battle management integration. So, in a two front scenario, also, a truly integrated national air defense grid where there is seamless fusion of Indian Air Force inputs, Army inputs, and Navy inputs. So that is first and foremost very important. Look, like Iran is being using cheap drones, cruise missiles, ballistics missiles, and you just keep bombarding that. What what is the lesson for us? The lesson for us that beside the conventional, we should be ready to field large number of low-cost loitering munition and drones. And for that, we should build domestic production of scale, mass, and prepare for attrition-heavy warfare so that we give him a punitive, decisive delivery. That is very important. Now, having said that, certain other technologies are very important. Electronic warfare, jamming, eavesdropping into his communication, spoofing, detection. This is very, very important. We'll have to harden our navigation systems, alternate GPS, reliable and redundant communications. You see, so these things are very, very important. And then there is always the requirement of the capabilities where you are prepared for two front wars. That is very important. So that is why where the volumes and numbers will come up. From the Iran, this thing, there another lesson which comes up and which we have learned. For us, it is not that. That besides this, that the half front, two front, we know that half front will continue to be active. Today, non-state actors are very, very active. They become force multiplier to the adversary. So for that, we have to be prepared. So preemptive disruption of proxy networks is very, very important. And like Op Sindhu told us, how soon can we escalate it and how soon can we control it? It should be built into our operational planning. So I will leave that at that away at that. But our core this thing it should be that we have to be capable of fighting a conventional war, and at the same time we should rapidly be able to respond to any proxy war which takes place. We should be punitively able to um, reply to that.
Yes, sir. Yes. So continue to this question. Like we are witnessing a seismic shift in the European strategic thinking because they are all the NATO nations. They have the long history of NATO. So under the American security umbrella, now they're scrambling to rebuild their sovereign defense capabilities amid the uncertainty created by the Washington's unpredictable posture under President Trump. How do you see this as a European strategic awakening as an opportunity for India? Can New Delhi leverage this movement to deepen defense industrial partnerships and position itself as a credible partner in the global arms architecture? What's your view?
Mm, yeah, this is a question which is being now deliberated and discussed. This opportunity, or what you call that, now suddenly Europe has realized that there has to be a strategic awakening, because till now, as far as defense was concerned, they had not really bothered much, because under the NATO umbrella, more or less the framework was secure and they did not have to bother. But now, this is nothing new that the Europeans are looking for new dependence. And they are also trying to build up selective autonomy. The Readiness Plan 2030, which you would be well aware, EU
Yes.
Readiness Plan, the commitment of the type of defense expenditure, they are going to raise it to 5% of their GDP. Just map it to what is the expenditure today, which is just about 1.5 to 2, that is the maximum. If they have to scale it to 5%, and out of 5% also, 3.5% is reserved for hardcore weapon systems and 1.5 is for support and logistics, etc. But even that is going to be huge. So the requirement, what will be happening in Europe, as it is, uh, they raise rising defense spending will require to rebuild the industrial capacity. Uh, they will have to build their own ammunition, missile, electronics. They will have to be careful that, like India is doing in Atmanirbhar, that the supply chain or the dependency or someone else, whether it is country A or country B, that dependence will come with a question mark. And it does not really mean that the NATO, US alliance, and everything is breaking. I mean, I'm not even talking about that. But as each country will like to diversify its challenges, it will like to diversify the supply chain. It won't like to be dependent on one entity. So, in this landscape, India fits naturally. You see, now if you see you do the global mapping. Now, here is a country where it has a where India has a largest domestic market. We are the fourth largest defense. We do the fourth largest defense expenditure in the world. We are the second largest importer. Look at the way our defense production is being raised within the country. Look at the way Atmanirbharta is going. Look at the way our exports are growing. So, an industrial base, defense industrial corridors. So, there is an exciting time coming up where opportunities for synergy will come up, and the areas are which we are very clear is co-development, setting up manufacturing base here, setting up R&D base here, joint ventures, collaboration. And if I can find examples, companies like Airbus, Safran are already working in India. So there's already a collaboration going on. So the opportunity for India is that we should offer that this is a country where you have opportunities. Please come up, set up new R&D facilities, joint ventures. We have to look at UAVs. We have to look at jet engines. We have to look at AI, electronic warfare, land systems. We also are setting up we were heavily importing ammunition. We are setting up new ammunition factories out here. We are making our own air defense equipment. And similarly, the challenge goes for maritime and the Indo-Pacific security. So India is well poised to give opportunities to all these countries that yes, the infrastructure, the industrial capacity, skill, and the biggest challenge is that we provide competitive costs compared to the rest of the world. But in this opportunity, we have to see where we can gain. We should look at getting more AI solutions, more cyber resilience, more space-based solutions. So, so this is going to be exciting. But please remember, there are certain regulatory and political complexities which remain with Europe. It is not very easy to scale that. The type of EU protocols which are there, export controls. There are certain countries which were just not exporting to India for reasons which are very well known. But now, because of these diversifying, they will open up. But still, there will be a little bit of a not I say, I mean, it will take time for the confidence to build up, and you will see that a lot of exchanges are taking place. Our defense minister, our foreign minister, visiting countries like Germany, France, Poland, and so on. So these exchanges, and similarly, and even the EU treaty which we have done on 26th January. So that is another indicator that yes, so trade, economy integration will help in defense this thing also. So long and short, these are exciting time. Europe's shift is not a temporary reaction. It is beginning of a more multipolar defense system where opportunity for India will definitely arise.
So moving to next one, that talking about rivalries and great power competition, we can now talk about China and Russia. Like they have continued to save the conflicts across multiple theaters, like not through the direct military engagement, but through the weapon transfers, intelligence sharing, information warfare, and economic leverage. You can see now in Iran, Israel war, China is only one of the country who have sharing their satellite facilities to Iran. So, from an Indian strategic perspective, how do you assess the implications of this indirect great power involvement in an active conflict zone, and how should India can calibrate its response, given that it maintains relationship with both Moscow and Beijing, even in an deepened ties with the West?
Very, very complicated question you are asking. Uh, you see, these are phenomena which have been going on for a number of years, where certain countries uh, influence the outcome of the war without actually getting involved in it. Okay? Uh, both China and Russia, they are refining a model where they shape outcomes while actually avoiding the risk of direct confrontation. So, if you can use other means, now India has typical peculiarities. One is we have our own threats, like I told you, the border, the continental threats which we have. We are also very sensitive to our maritime interests. And the third is given the way from the time we have got independence, the non aligned commitment of ours there. So the diplomatic balancing strategy and what we today call strategic autonomy. So this these balancing these three in today's environment is becoming more and more challenging. Diplomatically, you have to maintain good relations with everybody. And one reason where India stands unique in this is because there are a number of countries where our diaspora is in large numbers. Now, see what is happening in the current scenario. Uh,
Yes.
our diaspora is the maximum.
Yes.
So we have to look at those interests also. So, can we afford to diplomatically lower our guard? We have to be diplomatically up and alive, looking at our interests and the sensitive interests of the diaspora. There have been number of occasions we have pulled out our, whether it was Ukraine, whether it was Kuwait, where we brought our people, our citizens back to the country. So these issues are very important. In this, what are the implications for India? The implications for our India is that the line between partner and constraint and it blurs. Like Russia, India's relations with Russia is a very good example. We are still a key defense supplier. Now, the other side, Russia is also dependent on China. Okay, so while Russia is not an adversary, now it is no longer a fully reliable balancer against China also, because so how do we wade our way out? So we have to be very careful about our 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 stance, so that we do not come under any sanction, we do not come under any technology denial, and we do not get we do not get roped into a narrative. Okay, so like when we saw after the Galwan Valley standoff, the military standoffs were accompanied by economic measures, diplomatic signaling, information positioning. So I would like to say strategy autonomy or strategy ambiguity is becoming very difficult to sustain. So in this, uh, the India's option diplomatic maneuvering space is becoming more and more difficult. It's not easy times for. So how do we get out of it? The answer is we should be self-dependent. We should not be dependent on anybody. Slowly and steadily, we should reduce our critical dependencies. We should start building counter leverage against adversaries. Information warfare, target economic statecraft. I mean, we have seen how tariffs play a role. So then other important thing is we will have to invest very heavily into gray zone dominance, cyber,
Yes.
electronic, space, influence operations. We should be using our diaspora for this. How those people, soft power can make difference. So India cannot isolate itself by adopting one particular strategy. We have to balance as we've been doing it. And the present situation also, there were a lot of criticism that India has done this or India has not done this. But I feel that under the present challenging circumstances, we have done well, keeping the interest of our diaspora, of our relationship of trade or relationship of defense exchange. So this is the way we have to go ahead.
Yes, sir. Coming to our last part of the podcast, I have been seeing, we have been seeing that 5 to 10 years where artificial intelligence is most one of the revolutionary thing. You already said that revolutionary era. So it is one of the revolutionary thing, and the autonomous systems, space-based assets, where America and Russia and China and also India have been working in developing projects, and also the cyber capabilities, which is increasingly define the battlefield. So, what do you believe will the ultimate determinant of military power? Technological supremacy or economic endurance or the strength of alliance or something more fundamentally that global defense planners may be dangerously underestimating today? How the India uh, taking this, like Indian forces will go for it from this?
there can't be a single answer for this of your question that, okay, uh, look at 5 to 10 years, how this will evolve. It is actually what is happening is that the answer lies that it is the ability of the armed forces to continuously integrate and adapt what is coming in new. Okay, so evolution will take place, but you have to continuously integrate and adapt to be one step ahead of your adversary. Okay, because when this technology is getting access, it is being accessed by everybody. Today, technology does not, barring some niche technologies which are the preserve of certain area, certain countries which have developed. So solutions like AI and cyber, I mean, we have seen in all the conflicts, everybody is coming up with one solution after another. The winner will be whosoever is able to integrate and adopt faster and fight through the disruption. You'll have to reinvent. You have something today. So technology supremacy is transitional. Today I am technology superior. Tomorrow something else come up. I am no longer technology superior. So this is applicable in the tool in the fields of autonomy, AI autonomy, cyber. So none of these stay exclusively for long. The cutting edge is today. Tomorrow it may no longer be cutting edge. There will be something new. So the success is what is new, you adapt to it. And therefore, economic strength, industrial capability will be important. We cannot do away with that. Industrial depth will underwrite the wire fighting power. There's no doubt about it. And systems evolve in today, systems are evolving in a real time. This thing during the war going, see how the drones have evolved in the last Ukraine war. We are seeing new avatars. So, therefore, if you want the answer that a large economic input will it translate into better capability, may not be true, but it will be a disadvantage. You will need the economic might. In this, it is the adaptive capacity. I've already told you, adaptive capacity. Okay. Uh, Decision making, institutional speed. No longer can we afford. I talk about acquisitions with you during your. We cannot afford that sort of timelines for acquisitions. The way we use today's weapon systems, human machine teaming is very important. So, along with it, what is more important is that the fighting soldiers should adopt to these technologies. That is very important. Technology is coming, but I should be knowing how to use it. And the attacks will be totally new today. The attacks are from space, attacks are in data networks, attacks are in supply chain. So any side which will continue to operate even after these attacks will be the winner. There will be, along with that, information warfare, cognitive warfare, organizational warfare. So these things are going to be very important. And what it means for India is that I am not looking at how how I can face country A or country B. I should be faster in my adaptation cycle. Number two, I should have flexible doctrines across the two fronts. And number three, I should be able to integrate diverse systems. If I get that right, I will be able to balance my act. So this, in summary, is that gone are the days when you had years and years to evolve a doctrine, a weapon system. No, you are learning under fire. New technologies are coming in daily. And that is how you should be ready to adopt and get back into action the soonest. Any country, any army which does that will be the winner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We come to the end of the today's episode. Lieutenant General Verma, thank you sincerely for your time and valuable insights. The way you connected the evolving nature of the modern warfare, India's defense ambitions, and strategic context in the region has given us our audience as a truly rare and grounded perspective one that only 4 decades of distinguished service can offer. For our audience, whether you are a student or a researcher or simply a curious mind, I hope today's conversation has deepened your understanding of the world we are navigating. This is not distant issues, they shape our present and well define our future. This has been the Foresight Research Podcast series. Until next time, stay foresighted, stay informed. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. God bless you. Wish you all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.